What's up, guys? We are live. This is a live Blender Q&A and tutorial. What's up, everyone? Again, if you have any Blender questions regarding anything, you could ask it tonight. We're going to do a live Q&A and then a tutorial. What's up, everyone? Again, we're live on Discord, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and Kick. So again, guys, you could go ahead and join the Discord. I just pinned the comment or the link for the Discord. And once again, we are live. So if you have any questions regarding anything in Blender, go ahead and ask it tonight. Easy Bless says, can you show us how to create a realistic character, please? Sure, my friend, I could get into that. Let me give it a second. Free add-on from Blender. So are you talking about using an add-on to create a character or creating a character from scratch? What's up, guys? Again, this is a live Blender Q&A and tutorial. We do this every single weeknight. What's up, Ab? We are live on Discord. So again, if you want to see directly from Discord, you could ask questions there. That is the best place to be. And we are going to do a tutorial on creating a chain mail. Before that, we're going to do Q&A. So, Easy Blessed, are you trying to create a character from scratch in Blender, or are you just looking to import a character? So you're looking to just import a character? Is that what you're saying? Hi from Brazil. What's up, brother? What's up, Brazil? I think Blender has a build add-on. I'm not really sure about that, but if you want to just download a pre-built character, you could search for Make Human on Google. So Make Human right here is a character builder, and you could just import that character into Blender. And then in Blender, oh, from scratch. Got it. So yeah, from scratch, it's pretty simple. It just takes a little bit of time. The main thing you need is some reference images. So again, Easy Bless's question is how to make a character from scratch. So I've mentioned this before in the past, but the first thing that you want if you want to make a character from scratch is you want some reference images from the front and the side, especially if it has loop cuts. So for example, right here, I have reference images of a character with the loop flow. So right here, for example, let me load that in. What's up, guys? Again, this is a live Blender Q&A and tutorial. We're going to do a tutorial on creating chainmail in Blender, which is going to be super sweet. So right here, you can see that I have a character reference for the front view and the side view. Again, the question is how to make a realistic human. So this is the first thing that you want to get. You want to get reference images. And an important thing is the major loops. Guys, if you know where the major loops are, you'll be able to model your character much easier. Because then you could just make the major loops and connect everything very easily. Now, if you go to Google and if you type in on Google Images, also if I could use face to audio on NVIDIA Universal. I'm not familiar with that, my friend. 3D character loop, major loops. So guys, if you go to Google Images and type in 3D character major loops, you can see here that you could get some reference images of characters and where the major loops, you can see right there. So there's a bunch of different ones. And again, the major loops will be in different places depending on how someone models. So there's different ways to go about creating the major loops. But as you can see, if you search for 3D character major loops, you could collect a bunch of different reference images of where the major loops are for a human character, as you can see right here. So once you've done that, you could go ahead and in Blender, again, it's as easy as creating these major loops and then connecting all the rest together. Easy Bless says thumbs up. So right here, for example, and let me check over here if there's any questions here. So for example, over here, guys, again, so first step to modeling a human character, get reference images, at least the front and side view. If you're able to, if they have the major loops, that helps even more. Next, if they don't have the major loops, you just need to define where the major loops are going to be. So again, it differs with everyone who models. They'll have their major loop cuts slightly different. But here you can see that we have a major loop for the torso. We have one for the shoulder area, one for the elbow, and one for the wrist. And then right here we have the thigh, crap, what's it called? This part, my mind is blanking. We have the upper thighs right here, and the knees and the ankles. So once you determine where the major loops are, all you want to do is basically model those out. So again, step 1, get reference images. Step 2, define where your major loops are. Step 3 is obviously to block those out with a mirror modifier, because a human character is symmetrical. So you want to block those out. Now, also your character, you want your character to be either in a T pose, which is right here. Again, guys, this is a T pose. As you can see, he looks like a T, as you can see right there. Or you want them in an A pose. So a T pose is like this, which is this. An A pose, the character will have his arms down like this. And those are the two most common poses. You want one of those two poses. I don't like A poses personally. I like a T pose. A mistake that a lot of people do is they will model their character with the arms already posed. So they'll model their character like this. Here's the head. Look at this amazing drawing. And they'll model it like this arm. Check that out. That's awesome drawing. They'll model it with their arms like that because that's how they want them to be posed. But you don't want to do that. That's going to create so much complication. You want to model it in a symmetrical pose so that you could then use an armature to change how it looks. So right here, again, I'm just going to grab this plane right here. And again, this has a mirror modifier on it with clipping. And I'm just going to bring this over here and start to basically block this out. And let me move this right here. So right here, I'm going to start to block this out. And again, you want at least a front view and a side view. So on the side view, let me move this over. So right here, I have the side view. There we go. And the front view. So another thing that you want, guys, when you're modeling a character or anything, you want to keep the loop flow relatively the same. So for example, right here, the shoulder area, let's say it has 12 vertices. Well, obviously, I'm going to want this major loop to have 12 vertices as well. And in fact, I like to kind of keep all of the major loops having the same amount of vertices, or roughly the same amount of vertices. I don't want, for example, this loop right here to have 30 vertices, and then right here it's going to have like 12, because that's going to cause issues with connecting. So right here, again, as we start to extrude this, you could see that here I'm going to start to extrude it and move it from the front view and the side view, and just aligning this. Now, right now I'm going a little bit fast, so I'm not necessarily doing it super neat. But right here, you can see that I'm starting to align it in both front view and side view. Because the thing is, if I only extrude it in the front view, obviously you can see it becomes flat. So I want to, each step that I do, I do it from either the side first and then tweak it in the front, or the front first and then tweak it on the side. So right here, like that. And then right here, I'm just going to quickly fill this in. Again, obviously you would spend a little bit more time and aligning it a little bit better, like so. Now you can see that right here, obviously the back is completely flat, so I could then just grab proportional editing and bring this back. Again, GY with proportional editing, and then this edge is a little sharp, so I could select this one, G twice to edge slide, and just edge slide that to round that off. And again, obviously, if you're doing this, you could spend a little bit more time than me doing the tutorial here. So let me bring this a little bit like so, and like that. So right here, let me adjust this a little bit from this side. So let's say that I have this right here. So I have basically the torso. All right, so I have one major loop. And I'm going to show you guys how fast this is. You made it that look so easy, huh? I mean, it is easy, especially if you have reference images like this. Guys, this is why I say to get reference images like this, because if you do have reference images like this, you're basically just tracing. There really is, you don't have to think too much, but this will allow for you to learn how to do it. So now I have this right here. And if I want to straighten this a little bit, I could Alt left click this loop, hit SZ0 to straighten it. And same with this one, Alt left click SZ0, kind of straighten that, make it a little bit neater. And there we go. So I made one major loop. I'm going to show you how fast this could be to connect all this. So I'm going to select this one here, and I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate this, and I'm going to start working on this major loop right here. So let me go into side view. And again, you can see in side view, it's not aligned. So obviously I need to align it here like so. Now, even if you don't have these major loops set up and you don't have a character in wireframe, let's say the character reference you have is just a solid gray character, you can use the annotate tool or the grease pencil to kind of draw where your major loops are going to be. So right here, once again, I'm just going to quickly extrude it in front view, and in side view, I bring it back. If I extrude it in side view, in front view, I'm going to adjust it and adjust it like so. If I extrude it in front view, again, I'm going to go to side view to tweak that. And again, you can see that right here, it really makes it quite easy, especially if you have this kind of reference. Now, let me quickly do this. Again, you will spend a little bit more time to make it a little bit better looking, because right now I'm kind of going through this pretty fast. So right here, go into front view, make sure that this is aligned properly. You can see my front view image is kind of in the way, so let me bring that back. And there we go. So there we go. And again, you can also control right click to extrude it quickly. So right here, and then extrude again. And we could go into back view. Actually, I have a separate image for the back view actually, but right now I'm just going to I have a separate image for back view, but right here, I'm just going to kind of use the front view for the back, which is kind of cheating, but you know, it's fine. What is this single vertex there? What's up, Elad? So right here, extrude it one more time. And then right here, I'm just going to connect this. So let me hide this, connect this, and obviously tweak it a little bit because right here, it's a little bit, yeah. All right, so let's say you have this right here. So now you can see I really only created 2 loops. Now, we can see that if I Alt left click this and go to statistics, where is it? Over here. You can see that this has 13 vertices. Now, I personally don't like 13 because 12 or an even number is usually better. I think either, let me see. I'm just going to add a loop right here for now. I'm pretty sure I have 12 on this originally. Whoops, not add a loop. Let me delete a loop. So I'm going to delete this top one right here. Delete that loop. All right, so here I have 12 vertices, as you can see. And once again, I could hit SX0, straighten that out, and kind of make it a little better. So for this right here, again, a major loop, I could just go ahead and hit Shift D, duplicate this. Of course, I could just extrude it as well, but I'm showing you how easy it is once you have major loops. So I'm just going to duplicate that and then extrude that right here, just like that. And then same with the wrist. I'm going to hit Control L, duplicate this. Select the linked. And I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate that for the wrist. And like I said, of course, you could extrude this out, but I'm showing you how easy it is once you have the major loop set up. So we have that right there. And now if we want to connect this, it's really quite simple. For example, I could Alt Shift left click these two loops, go to Edge, Bridge Edge Loops, and then here I could just hit Control R, add a couple loop cuts, left click, right click, and hit Alt S, kind of shrink these down. I don't want to rotate them. And then obviously kind of tweak them as needed. So I could turn on proportional editing. And right here, just kind of tweak this as I might need. Bring this up for the shoulders, etc. And you can see it right there. I have an arm. I could Alt Shift left click these two loops, Edge, Bridge Edge Loops. Again, add a couple of vertices right there and tweak this for the shape of the forearm. And then right here, going to side view, you can see that this just connects nicely. I could select the opposing edges, hit the F key to fill those in. I could kind of tweak this. Maybe if I turn off proportional editing. And right here, it's a little bit slanted, so I would want to do some tweaking after. For here, to fill all this up, I could just go ahead and, for example, select this edge, E key, extrude it all the way in. And then right here, we could see that here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. So I could hit Control R, 4, add 4 edge loops right here. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges here as well. And then I'm just going to connect these two. Again, I'm shift selecting the edges, F key to fill. And we can see on this side, there's 1, 2, 3 edges. So I'll need 3 edges here. So Control R, 2 to add 2 loop cuts and get 3 edges. And then I could just Alt left click this whole area. Again, what I'm about to do is called grid fill. So for a grid fill, you need the opposing edges to be the same. So right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And down here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I have 1, 2, 3. And here I have 1, 2, 3. So now if I Alt left click this whole loop, I could go to face and select grid fill, and it will just fill that like so. Now, obviously, you can see his chest is caved in. So then I could hit the O key, get proportional editing on, and just bring the chest out like so. And of course, it needs some smoothing, obviously, because, there's still some issues with it, as you could see. But you can see within a matter of seconds, I'm able to get this pretty easily blocked out. And then if I hit Shift H to hide everything except for that, you can see I already have a whole torso right here in a matter of seconds. I could do the same thing for the back. I could hit the E key, snap this together. You can see that right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops. So I need to hit Control R or edges, 6 to add 6 loop cuts right here. I'm going to select the opposing edges, F key to fill. And then right here I have 1, 2, 3. So I'll hit Control R, add 2 loop cuts, Alt left click this, face, grid fill right there. And then of course, his back is, one thing that I like to do is in vertex select mode, right click, smooth vertices. a little bit. Also, you could hit Control Tab, go into sculpt mode, and don't turn on dynamic topology, but just get the brushes such as the draw brush. And here we could just draw on here and use the smooth brush as well. I could use the grab brush and kind of adjust this a little bit. Hold down shift to smooth it out. Same thing with the front. I could grab out the pecs and the chest. Again, these sculpting brushes are great to kind of shape your mesh. You don't want to go too crazy with it because otherwise the topology is going to be terrible. But as you can see, they are great tools for that. And then, of course, I could hold down shift to use the smooth brush. Does anyone have any questions so far on what I've just went over? Easy Bless says, you're the best. Thank you, brother. Does anyone have any questions? What's up, Elad? Let me check on YouTube and stuff. By the way, guys, we have a Discord now, so make sure to join the Discord server. I pinned the link. Also, guys, the official site is blendermania3d.com. All right, so as you can see, we got that right there. Very, very cool. And then the same goes for the rest of the body. And again, obviously you could extrude this and just extrude it like so. You don't have to like connect the major loop necessarily. You could just kind of extrude it out like so. But having the major loops really, really helps. Just listening while working, Elad says. Nice. And there we go. And then, of course, same thing with the face. The face would be the same setup. You would just do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, so I need 4 loop cuts here. Fill this. Alt left click. Face. Grid fill that. And then right here, we could start to get the neck area once I fill this area up. For this. Also, another cool add-on for modeling is the F2 add-on. So right here, let me see. Right here, if I go to Edit, Preferences, and I search for under the add-ons for F2, the Mesh F2 add-on, this allows for me, for example, right here, I need to fill this area. I could just fill it many different ways, but if we select a corner vertex and just hit the F key, you could see it extrudes or basically creates a face wherever you position your mouse. So right there. So I could hit the F key and it just automatically kind of creates a face with the vertex selected from that corner right there, which is pretty sweet. I could then select this and hit Alt-Shift-S and 1, maybe not 1, Alt-Shift-S and make this to sphere. Now you can see here I'm getting like 2 heads. So what I could do, let me see if I put my pivot point here. Shift-S cursor to selected. I don't think this is going to work properly though. Oh yeah, sort of. So right here, I just selected these 2 vertices, Shift-S cursor to selected, and I'm changing my pivot to 3D cursor. Then if I Alt-left click a loop, how about the talking face? That would have to be for another time, man. Making a talking face, that's a whole course in itself. But right here, if I hit Alt-Shift-S, I could start to make this to sphere, as you can see right there. So I could start to sphere this out. I could also use the Loop Tools add-on. So right here, I could select Circle. Again, guys, if you don't have the Loop Tools add-on, go to Edit, Preferences, and search for Loop Tools. And then you have this add-on. And one of the functions of the Loop Tools add-on is if you select anything, you have this circle option, and it will make it circular, as you can see right there. Now, obviously, you know, a head or a neck is not that perfectly circular. So I'm just going to hit Alt-Shift-S, and then I'm just going to hit G twice to kind of vertex slide these vertices. And like I said, you know, you want to go ahead and, no pun intended, you want to go ahead and tweak this as you start to extrude it. Because right here, this is very blocky and very nasty. Obviously, it's needs a lot of work, but I'm showing you the basic process for this. So again, let me go over here. And then you would do the same thing for the face. I've already done the face in another live stream. We've done the whole face with the major loops and everything, but it's pretty much the same thing. You go ahead and create the major loops first. And again, a great tool is proportional editing to kind of ease things out. Also, edge sliding is great. For example, right here, it's a little bit sharp. If I'm able to select the freaking edge, there we go. So right here, this is a little bit sharp. So I could hit G twice, edge slide it, G twice again, edge slide it again, kind of smooth it out. And again, I like to right click smooth vertices as well. Of course, then I'll go in by hand and kind of tweak everything a little bit so everything is nicely aligned and set up. But then you do the face and the legs and the arms. It's all the same stuff. And then basically you are left with this over here. So let me just save this just in case. Live one. So then you are left with something like this 5 hours later. There we go. So you're left with something like this right here, where right here I have the full character that I did. Obviously, subdivision surface is not enabled, so it's blocky because subsurface is disabled. But you can see here exactly what I was teaching. I created the major loops and then connected everything. Same thing with the face. And then, of course, I added clothing and everything to it. Right here, of course, I got some reference images to kind of get the look I want. And then you'll just rig it and everything, as you could see right there. And then you get a full-blown human character, which is pretty cool. So does anyone have any questions on that, by the way, as I make this really weird pose that's kind of haunting? It's kind of remind me of event. Yeah, I don't know what's happening right there. There you go. And then you can make stuff like this. The stuff of nightmares. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding what I just went over? You can see right here, this isn't the final rig, obviously. This is still when I'm working on it. But then later on, I, texture everything and all that good stuff. So you can see right here, I think this is when he's textured. I don't know. Guys, for this project, I have 120 plus save files, so it's ridiculous. Surya says, can you tell any secret tips, bro? You're a beast, Easy Bless says. Thank you, brother. Tell any secret tips. I mean, the secret tip is there is no secret. That sounds stupid, but all right. So you want like some useful tips? Yeah, let's do that quickly. So right here, you can see that he's textured. Again, not fully done, but you can see. And again, guys, getting reference images is great. I got the reference images from AI. So I had AI generate me some reference images. Again, this is from my AI course, my AI animated short course. So I had AI generate me some reference images, and then I basically created the character roughly based around those images, as you can see right there. That way I have somewhat of a blueprint of how I want this guy to look. And for the rig, by the way, guys, the rig is just Rigify add-on. So I used the Rigify add-on for the rig. But yeah. And then the texturing, I mean, the texturing is all kinds of different stuff. There we go. We could create some really weird poses. So as far as some tips, let's get into some tips and stuff. There you go. You could do some really weird TikTok dance pose. And you can see that his clothing is still sticking out of the jacket. Again, this is not the final file. This is file number 16. Again, I have 120 files. So I then fixed this issue because obviously the t-shirt under it is sticking through. And you can see, guys, that I hide. So here's a tip as far as animation. For example, when I'm animating, I don't necessarily need the whole character to be shown. So as you can see, that is creepier than I thought. As you can see, for the character, I only have the parts of the body that are actually shown here because, again, I have clothes and stuff. There is still the whole character, but what I've done is I've used a mask modifier and I created a vertex group and I basically masked out or hid anything that is not shown. Two reasons for this. First reason is sometimes, again, I fix more of this later, but you can see here that the character's knees are going through the pants. So I don't really need the character under here because there's no reason to have it. So having the mask helps to get rid of that issue. Second issue it helps to get rid of is the vertex count. So right here, you can see that the vertex count, if it's not hidden, is 93,000. If I hide these, the vertex count is 70,000. So it decreases your vertex count in your scene, especially if you're doing animation. So when you're doing a character and you got a full character, and if he has clothing on, use a mask modifier, create a vertex group, and just hide everything that is not seen because you don't need it, technically. Also, there's this little button on the mask modifier, which lets you invert your selection. So right here. Because initially, if we take a look at my vertex group, you can see that the vertex group for this, character hide, if I click select, I wanted to hide all of this. But then when I enabled it, you could see that it does the opposite. So you could click this and it will basically invert it. What's up, David? Welcome to Discord, brother. So that's one tip. Use the mask modifier to mask anything that's not seen in your animation as far as your character. I've done the same thing with the white t-shirt as well. You can see here, I don't need to see the back or the sides. So this helps with if it intersects with the jacket, and also it saves some vertices. So as you can see right here, I've used a mask modifier to hide what is not seen, as you can see right there. And I think, let me see, the hands. Yeah, the hands, before I had done just the fingers, but then if it was just the fingers, like I had done it so it was just the fingers here, but then it was a little weird. So also, you can see that right here. Let me shift H. You can see right here, I have some of the lower back and some of the butt. And the reason is because when he bends down, his jacket would go up. And if I hid that part, you can see right here, we can see the bottom of his lower back. So obviously I want that to be shown because right here we can't see it. But when he bends down, if he bends down to a certain degree, you'll see that. So yeah, that's one little tip right there. Does anyone have any questions about what I just went over or anything else? By the way, guys, we do this every week night. Same time, same place. By the way, guys, join the Discord. We just launched our Discord, and the official site also is blendermania3d.com. But if you're on Discord, you join the Discord. If you're not on Discord, join it anyways, or go to blendermania3d.com. All right. Let me check if I forgot about YouTube people. What's up, YouTube people? All right. So with that, guys, we're going to get, we're going to get into the live tutorial here. We're going to create a chainmail in Blender. This is going to be really cool. It's going to be pretty simple. We're going to create a chainmail that we could then add a cloth sim to, and the chainmail can wrap around anything. It's going to be done using geometry nodes and some other methods. It's going to be pretty simple. But if you want to follow along, open Blender right now. So go ahead and open up Blender. Again, this was Grau who requested this tutorial. Of course, he's not here tonight, but no, I'm kidding. He's going to watch the recording. By the way, for anyone who missed anything, the recording will be on Blender Mania on my YouTube. The YouTube is called Blender Mania. So just go there and go to the lives. All right, so let's make a chainmail here, guys. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to delete the default cube. That's the most important part, by the way. And then I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to go to Mesh and add a torus right here. So add a torus, aka the donut shape. And in the bottom left, under Add Torus, I'm going to change the major segments to 12. Now, when you do this after the tutorial, you can make this, have more vertices and stuff. I just don't want it to lag, so I'm just going to put this to 12 and 12. All right, cool. So now I have this. In edit mode, so tab to go into edit mode, the S key is to scale, but we're not going to hit the S key to scale. We're going to hit Alt S. Alt S allows for us to fatten or shrink an object. So I'm going to hit Alt S and shrink this a little bit. So Alt S, shrink, like so. Then in front view, so 1 on the numpad, I'm going to hit R to rotate, 30, and negative to rotate it negative 30 degrees. So now I have this. Then I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate it, right click to leave it there, and I'm going to hit Alt R to clear the rotation, and then R and 30 to rotate it 30 degrees positive. So now we should have something that looks like this. Basically, two toruses intersecting like an X. I'm going to grab this one, and this one we want to hit G, Y, bring it as close as we can. Basically, we want to bring it diagonally. So I'm just going to hit G and bring it as diagonal as I can. So basically, you want it to be up on the Y, so up on the Y, and moved over on the X as much as possible. So now we should have this shape right here. I'm then going to shift select both of these and Control J to join them. Then right click, set origin to geometry so that the origin is in the center. All right, so now we have this shape right here. I'm going to hit GX, move it to the side. What's up, guys? This is a live Blender Q&A and tutorial. I'm going over the tutorial. We are doing a chainmail. Next, here I'm going to hit Shift A, add a plane. And in edit mode, I'm going to scale it up just a little bit. And I'm going to right click and subdivide it. And I'm going to increase this. I'm just going to right click, subdivide again, right click, subdivide again, and maybe one more time. So like 4 times. Of course, you could change the number of cuts if you want. But all right, then we're going to go to the Geometry Nodes tab, and I'm going to minimize or close the spreadsheet. All right, so once again, guys, we have 2 toruses that are basically in this kind of shape, like that, and then it's diagonally positioned like that, and we have a grid, and we're going to click New to add a new geometry nodes. Next, we're going to add an instance on points. Instance on points. Again, this is going to add an instance. Again, an instance is a duplicate of an object. So it's going to add a duplicate of an object, whatever we plug into instance right here, on every point or every vertex. So here, if I go to the outliner, I could left click and drag the torus object into here and plug the geometry into the instance. And now we have this right here, which looks absolutely terrible because it's way too big. So here on the scale, I'm going to left click and drag down. Again, if you left click and drag down, you could select all of the values at once. So I'm going to left click and drag down, hold shift, and I'm going to scale these down a little bit so that they fit. So something like that right there. And let me bring them down a little bit more. So you basically want to scale them until they're interlocking with each other, kind of like that right there. All right, very cool. Now you'll see one issue. If we go into front view, you could see that if we look at how this is rotated, it has this kind of shape right here, like that. But if we look at how this is rotated, it has this kind of shape like that instead of like this. So we need to rotate these. I'm going to get a transform geometry, drop that after the object info, and I'm going to rotate this on the Y, and I'm going to bring this up like so to 30 degrees. I'm just going to type in 30. And now you can see we have the same shape as there. And there we go. Very, very cool. So now here, we could also go into edit mode of our plane. And in edit mode, we could scale up our plane until these are intersecting properly and not, not not overlapping each other badly. So now you can see that they're intersecting properly. So once again, you could scale up your plane in edit mode, which will allow for you to space them, or you could change the scale of this, but a mixture of both is good. So now you should have something like this, or a chainmail. Very cool, but still very boring. How do we make it interact with our scene? Well, here I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to add a UV sphere and just bring it down. On the UV sphere, I'm going to go to the Physics tab, and I'm going to make this a collision. And on the plane right here, I'm going to make this a cloth. Now, if I try to play this, you can see nothing happens. And that's because in the modifiers, we need to make sure to have the cloth modifier before the geometry nodes modifier. So just go ahead and bring that up above it. And now if I play this, you can see we got that right there. Very cool. However, we have one last issue. You can see that these are completely rotated, not properly. Wow, that was a terrible sentence. But you can see that these are not rotated properly, as you can see right there. It looks fine when it's flat, but when it falls on here, they're kind of not interlocking. And that's because all of these are just rotated flat. So we want to rotate these based on the normals of our plane. Now, what are the normals? Well, right here, let me just show quickly. Let me disable the geometry nodes. You can see here I have the plane. And let me have this in edit mode. Oh, the cloth can't be in. I'm sure there's a way, but all right. So basically, the normals is the perpendicular direction of the face or the vertices. So, for example, I'll demonstrate on Suzanne. She will be my test subject. So right here, I'm going to go into edit mode. You can see over here, if I turn on the vertex normals right here, you can see that right here, we have the normals of the vertices and or the normals of the faces. So again, the normal is basically the direction that the vertex is pointing in, as you can see right here. So right here, all of these have a certain direction that they're pointing in. And same with the faces. So this cloth right here, we want these rings to be rotated based on the direction that these vertices are pointing in. So if these are pointing down, we want the rings to be rotated down. These are pointing kind of like flat and diagonally. We want those rotated like that and that rotated like that, etc. So we're going to go over here. Let's re-enable the geometry nodes modifier and click on it for it to show up. You want to click on the modifier for it to show back up. Out of the rotation, we're going to get an align Euler to vector. Again, an Euler is basically a rotation, so it's going to align the rotation of these to the vector. For the vector, we're going to get a normal node right here. And now you can see that it aligns them to the vector or the normals. Now it's rotated wrong, so all we need to do is change this from X to Z. And now you can see that they are rotated properly. And we have a sick chainmail right here, which can be fully animated using the cloth sim. How awesome is that? Very cool. So there you go, guys. That is the tutorial for tonight, creating a chainmail. Any questions on that? By the way, if anyone wants this file, I will upload it to blendermania3.com in the chat and also in the Discord. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to upload it to the Discord right now. So chain mail right there, save, and I will upload it. So if anyone wants to download it, you can. Let's see, there it is. Let me add it, upload file. Again, guys, the Discord is pinned in the comments. So just click on that chainmail right there. And I will post it on blendermania3.com as well in the public chat. Hey, welcome David to the Discord. Welcome Lupe to the Discord. And welcome Frisk to the Discord. Guys, join the Discord. We do this every single weeknight. I'm live on the Discord as well. Tomorrow evening, we have a live Blender contest. I'm also uploading it to blendermania3.com. Guys, if you can't find the Discord, just go to blendermania3d.com. That's the official site. And just go to the public chat, and I'll post the Discord link there if for some reason you can't find it. But I'm going to post the Discord link one more time. All right, does anyone have any questions on what I just went over? Easy Loss says, strong arm emoji. What's up, brother? Does anyone have any questions on these geometry nodes that I just went over? Like maybe you don't know what the normal node is or transform geometry. Again, guys, there's no stupid questions. Any questions on what I just went over with the chainmail here? I mean, this is very satisfying, honestly. And what's cool is this is completely procedural. So, you know, we could scale this up. Obviously, if you scale it up, you're going to need to subdivide this again some more. So we need to subdivide this right here. The reason I didn't use a grid right here is because we need the vertices for it to actually act like cloth. So the vertices allow for it to actually bend. You can see right now it's very laggy now because I got a bunch. Also, you can see right here it's kind of yeah, I probably need to tweak some of the cloth settings, but it's still very, very cool. All right, guys. So with that, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Now we can make a whole knight in shining armor or something. And again, guys, obviously, you know, adjust your cloth settings because right now it's acting a little too much like cloth. So you could bring up the stiffness. Where's the stiffness? Yeah, right here, you could put the bending so that it doesn't bend as much. You could bring up the stiffness. Obviously, you could enable the self-collision under collision, enable self-collision so that it doesn't collide within itself, etc. But again, that is more cloth related. All right, guys. So with that, does anyone have any last questions on the tutorial? And if not, we're going to end off. And again, guys, tomorrow evening, we have a live Blender contest. Anyone is free to join in and watch or participate. So whether you want to be a participant or a viewer, up to you. And that will be live tomorrow. With that, guys, we do this every weeknight. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you got value. Again, go to blendermania3d.com. That's the official site. And or go to the Discord. So we'll see everyone. And let me check. Did I forget to check the Discord chat? Pretty sure I checked it, but thank you, David says. Okay, there we go. Yesterday, someone was asking a bunch of questions on a Discord chat, and I'm still not used to it, so I didn't see it. Anytime, David. And hey, brother, welcome to the Discord. Again, by the way, I'm going to be upgrading the Discord so that it's in 1080 HD quality, because right now it's only in 720p, but don't worry, I will be getting HD and all that. All right, guys. So thanks again for being here. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Ciao for now, guys. If you want to see the recording, it will be on Blender Mania YouTube and also BlenderMania3.com. See you guys. Ciao for now. Au revoir.